Once you finish training and get on a real project and get rolling with Revit, you're going to find out very quickly that this Revit workflow is very similar to actual construction. That is, there needs to be a building to add our components to. Luckily, Revit lets us physically link in our architecture and structure. Not only does this give us our guidelines for placing components, but it also allows us to coordinate our systems with other trades. This video will guide you through the process of bringing in, or for a better term, linking, in an architectural model. You will look at placement methods, room bounding, automatic shading, and how to pin down a model so your friends don't move it on you. To get started, open up your electrical project and follow along. To link in another model, the first thing we want to do is go to the Insert tab. On the Insert tab, you'll see the Link panel. On the Link panel is the Link Revit button. Go ahead and click that. Browse to where you have your architectural and structural models. Select architectural, but don't double-click it. If you double-clicked it, just undo and go back to this step. With architectural selected, the one thing we have to do is make sure our positioning is correct. Click the drop-down and choose Auto Origin to Origin. Click Open. This brings our model in. On the keyboard, type ZA to zoom all to see the entire model. The next most important step is to select the model itself. Notice the entire model turns blue. This means you have it selected. On the Modify panel, click the Pin button. This makes it so you physically cannot move the model. You can click off of the model or hit Escape a couple times. Another way to link a Revit model is, in the Project browser, scroll down to the bottom until you see Revit Links. Right-click on Revit Links and select New Link. This time select Structural. Don't double-click it. Make sure your positioning is set to Origin. Click Open. On your Quick Access toolbar, click the default 3D View button as shown here. If you hold down your Shift key and your Wheel button simultaneously, you can scroll around and see your model. If you wheel away from you and hold down your wheel button, you can pan up or down and zoom in. If we wheel towards you, you can zoom out. At the very bottom is what's called the View Control toolbar. You can change your scale, you can set your detail level, and you can set your visual style. To get back to the first floor, let's scroll up in our project browser and scroll down to Power, Floor Plans, 1 Power, and double-click it. It seems as though the background is too light. To change that, go to the Manage tab, and on the Settings panel, click the Additional Settings drop-down and go to Halftone Underlay. With the Halftone Underlay dialog open, let's change our weight to 1. We'll keep a halftone applied, but for the brightness, let's crank that up to 80. You can also type it in. Click OK. Now, to make sure we can place our MEP spaces into the model, select the underlay. Click on Edit Type. Under Constraints, make sure we check on Room Bounding. This allows our mechanical model to see the walls. Click Apply. Click OK. Notice that now we have the model selected. Our Modify Revit Links temporary tab is there. On our Link panel, click on Manage Links. This brings up our Manage Links dialog. Notice that you can have Revit, CAD, DWF, and even point clouds. Click on the Revit tab. Notice that the reference type is set to Overlay, and the saved path is relative. This means that if you copy the files to someone else's directory, it'll pick up the links. Click OK. Another way to get to this dialog is to scroll down in the project browser. We can drill into the Revit links by clicking the X. Notice that we have Architecture and Structural. Go ahead and right-click on Architectural. Notice that we can reload it, unload it, open it, or even reload it from another directory. Hit Escape a couple times. Go ahead and save your model. So, as you can see, linking another model in Revit is pretty easy. And, as you can see, almost every project will begin with this procedure. Now that you know how to do it the right way, you can start to get something done.